His Excellency's 20 years as a bishop. On May 31, 1995, Pope John Paul II appointed the Salesian Father Precioso, who was rector of the Don Bosco Technical High School in Cebu City, as Auxiliary Bishop of Cebu. He is the second Salesian priest in the Philippines to be ordained bishop. He was consecrated bishop on July 12, 1995 by His Eminence Ricardo J. Cardinal Vidal at the Metropolitan Cathedral of Cebu. At 42, young and dynamic as he was, he worked without pause in stride in giving a hand to the Cardinal Archbishop of Cebu in the pastoral administration of the whole archdiocese. This archdiocese is known for so many pastoral and civic gatherings. When things got rough and confusing in the pastoral gathering of clergy and laity, the leading presence of the young auxiliary bishop brought relief and easiness through the work of his astute and analytic mind and his phenomenological approach to realities. When one asked who was the innovative author of the team ministry model to solve the problem of many applying for parish priests, but there were only few parishes to accommodate the office of a parish priest, the answer was the young auxiliary bishop of Cebu. This model now reaches other shores across the country, including ours. This may be one of those things to be inserted explicitly in canon law when there will be its revision to add to the parish priest parochial vicar model in the traditional setup of a parish. On January 20, 1998, Pope John Paul II appointed this young auxiliary bishop as the second bishop of Maasin, 1 year after the death of the first bishop of Maasin, Bishop Vicente T. Ataviado, D.D. On March 10, 1998, Bishop Precioso D. Cantillas, SDB D.D., was canonically installed as the second bishop of Maasin, to the delight of the faithful and the clergy, by His Eminence Ricardo Cardinal Vidal at the Our Lady of Assumption Cathedral in Maasin City. On November 18 to 21, 1998, just 8 months after his installation, with deep faith and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ and filial devotion to Our Lady, and guided by His Excellency's episcopal motto, Cantabo Canticum Novum, Bishop Cantillas convoked the first ever Diocesan Pastoral Assembly held at the Bonsal Hall of St. Joseph College to assess the life of the local church and reflect on the realities which moved the bishop later to initiate measures for renewal of the clergy and the laity. It is in this assembly that the people, together with the bishop and clergy, started to formulate the vision, mission, and goals of the Diocese of Maasin. On December 9 to 11, 1999, the Second Diocesan Pastoral Assembly, or DPA-2, was called to follow up what happened in DPA-1. After DPA-1 and 2, these are the visible reforms, starting with the clergy in the life of the diocese. The Diocesan Pastoral Secretariat, DPS, together with the Diocesan Commission Chairman, Westio, was created. The regular monthly recollection and meeting of all clergy was institutionalized. The creation of the parish pastoral plan in line with the vision and mission of the diocese was required. The adoption of BEC as the core of the pastoral thrust in the parish was implemented, and the new financial scheme in supporting parish and diocesan offices and activities was adopted. On the part of the lay faithful, the awareness and response of the call of the bishop to think diocese was visible in their enthusiasm in attending diocesan gatherings and congresses, which helped them rekindle the spark of their spiritual, pastoral, and social life. In the parishes, the Parish Pastoral Council and Parish Finance Council, where lay leadership would be exercised, were strengthened. There was an adoption of the pastoral structure Westio to better serve and address concerns of the seemingly complex human life in the Church. Also, the percentage of the lay faithful going to church to attend Sunday liturgical celebrations steadily rose from 10% to 22% of the total population of the Diocese of Maasin, which is higher than the national percentage, which is just 10 to 15% of Catholic population attending Mass on Sundays. The efforts of renewal and call for a participative church culminated on August 14 to 16, 2008, with the bishop called the First Diocesan Synod, attended by 290 lay and clergy delegates held at St. Joseph College. What the diocese has been practicing today is the fruit of the synod. Slowly to take shape is the shared leadership of the lay and clergy in the Christian community, a desire of many since Vatican II. To build BEC is the drive of all parishes, supported by the diocesan BEC team, with the priest steering the wheel for direction. Within the vicariate or in the diocesan context, the ongoing formation of lay liturgical ministers regularly happens. The catechetical program of formation for catechists is regularly observed and expanded. The declaration of diocesan shrines where people can seek refuge in solitude and prayer promotes Marian spirituality and closeness to Christ. The present 5-year diocesan pastoral plan is based on the synod. The Diocesan Social Action Center is more visible in the community, especially in times of calamities and tragedies. Even long before the reign of Pope Francis, who says, "I prefer a church which is bruised, hurting and dirty, because it has been out on the streets, rather than a church which is unhealthy from being confined and from clinging to its own security." The diocese was already led by Bishop Cantillas to embark on such journey. In 2000, Bishop Cantillas was instrumental in the construction of the first orphanage for boys in the diocese, after he witnessed a lot of boys aimlessly walking and gobbling up food from the garbage cans on the street of the city of Maasin. He tasked the FCJ sisters, especially Sister Margaret Sheehan, FCJ, to look after the program of forming intellectually and spiritually these homeless boys. 15 years later, 7 of those boys are now professionals. In 2001, the parishes of Liloan, San Francisco, and San Ricardo were hit by landslides, displacing hundreds of families and claiming hundreds of innocent lives. The bishop never missed to visit these people who lost their homes and loved ones. In reconstruction of their homes and lives, the bishop, together with the clergy, youth, and lay volunteers, was there holding pala to dig the foundation of a home or mixing cement with gravel, holding a hammer for a roof or the walls, and carrying house materials from the shore to the relocation site. On June 23, 2003, to take care of the out-of-school youth in the diocese, Bishop Cantillas constructed, in partnership with Miserior, a vocational training center, VocTrack, in St. Joseph College Extension Campus, where young people were trained to acquire skills in technical works through also the help of TESDA, which the bishop served for a long time as board member. Most of the graduates are now employed today abroad, mostly in the Middle East. On February 17, 2006, another tragedy struck Southern Leyte after days of heavy downpours, as the whole barangay of Kinsaugon in St. Bernard was buried under piles of mud and rocks. 1,000 plus residents perished and left hundreds of teens studying high school at the neighboring barangay orphans. On June 10, 2006, Bishop Cantillas embraced these orphans and constructed a hostel to house them while taking up courses in St. Joseph College. More than 200 students live in the hostel, and majority of them finished their studies. The hostel today houses the Youth Servant Leadership Educational Program YSLEP Scholars of the Diocese of Maasin. The scholarship is funded by Caritas Manila and the Diocese of Maasin through St. Joseph College. How many more young people and poor families being reached out to by the local church of Maasin led by the bishop? Since his arrival in 1998, every Christmas time, a long queue of indigents is the usual scene in the bishop's residence, compound to claim something from the graciousness of the bishop. The number of indigents showing up grew every year. Also, his love and concern for the workers, whether in the academe or in the diocesan offices, is tangible during Christmas and his birthday celebrations. There are 267 working students in our diocesan school, St. Joseph College, every year. Not to mention the promissory notes allowed by the bishop to be accepted during examination periods. The only school in the Philippines doing such practice, to the amazement of the outside observers. Since 2010, the bishop gives 60% discount of tuition for students, even to non-Catholics who hail from Sogod and other remote towns in the southern part and Baybay and beyond the northern part of the diocese. The bishop believes that one effective way to help poor families is to give education to their children. Not only wrapped up in his work in the diocese, Bishop Cantillas has served the Universal Church when Pope Benedict XVI appointed him a member of the Pontifical Council for Migrants from 2006 to 2013, requiring him to be in Rome twice every year. Apart from this, he serves up to the present as the Secretary of the International Catholic Migration Commission, whose leaders include cardinals, bishops, and lay, serving and protecting globally uprooted people anywhere in the world. Based on this experience, Bishop Cantillas happily sends priests abroad to serve other dioceses which lack priests to minister to the needy, in Norway, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Italy, and the United States. Since his installation as Bishop of Maasin, Bishop Cantillas sent academically inclined priests for further studies to obtain ecclesiastical and civil degrees in Louvain in Belgium, in Navarra in Spain, in New York in the US, and in the city of Rome. With this, the diocese today doesn't lack theologians, philosophers, canon lawyers, biblical scholars, liturgists, educators, etc., to help the bishop in serving God's people. For all his love and concern for the lay faithful, religious, and the clergy, the Diocese of Maasin owes an eternal debt of gratitude to His Excellency, Most Reverend Precioso D. Cantillas, SDB-DD. Thank you very much for sharing with us your visionary leadership and above all, your whole life, filled with sacrifices for the ransom of many. We can never pay you back, but we believe this. Amor con amor se paga.